Well,
I will.
well, I'm the chair now. Okay.
Chairman Fetterman.
Yeah, well, this is great, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so, Mayor, congratulations on the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. Yeah, wow.
Thank you.
How many have the Chiefs won?
So we've won 3 since I've
3?
been mayor. We've won 4 total.
That's fantastic, and I know, I mean, Pittsburgh, we have 6, and it's really great.
We are catching up,
We're a
Senator.
little bit, there might be a little bitter here, but yeah. Anyway, well, I want to address what seems to be the elephant in the room. Now, it seems to be people in the room wearing red shirts. And it seems like they're PG-13 versions of perhaps, I don't know. And I guess, and those shirts say they what? The red shirts. Yeah, okay, Fire Mohila. So could any of the experts here on the panel, can we explain why we have people willing to wear shirts? They made them and everything. So I think they probably have an important point. So what would anyone want to address to that?
I'm happy to go first. But after we released our report, the Mohila Papers, we heard from hundreds of borrowers that this report spoke to their lived experiences, that Mohila has more complaints at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau than any other servicer. Mohila has more than 4 in
more than any other.
That's right.
More than anyone. Okay.
That's right. 4 in 10 of Mohila's customers have experienced a servicing failure. Borrowers' experience need to be listened to, and the borrowers are here today to say that Mohila has done them wrong and must be held accountable.
Anyone else would like to weigh in on that? I mean, I think it's remarkable that we have shirts here and everything. There's a lot of, seems pretty compelling. I mean, it has the most complaints of any other agency. Anyway.
Well, if I might, Senator.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So I'd offer here, this is one of the challenges of sort of running the student loan program, right, is that the government requires infrastructure and support. And I think one of the rhetorical issues here is I too, having read that report, would find it deeply disturbing but it were true. The challenge is that it sort of misleads dramatically and makes many false statements. In my opening statement, I covered a lot of that. My written testimony goes into that. I think the real question is, how do we get to a servicing environment that is meeting the expectations? And number one, the government has got to partner with servicers to work together to improve these things. So we've had servicers lead. 7 of them had said to the government, thanks, but no thanks. We don't want to work for you anymore. And continuing that process just means we're churning as opposed to improving. And that's what we need to work on. So I think working together, we can talk about how do we get the Department of Education to partner with servicers to issue guidance in a timely fashion, for the government to give sufficient resources so we can do that outreach. That call hold time and call center hours that were cut, that was at the department's direction because they did not have sufficient resources. That was not a servicer choice. And these are the kind of things we need to work together. So rather than having these sort of hyperbolic reports that really don't say anything substantive, we need to work together on what the actual true nature and architecture of the program is. And I look forward to being able to talk about that further with you.
Yeah. Well, I have anecdotes from my constituents that had that same kind of situation, and it's very frustrating and it's very disappointing as well too. Even if they're looking to pay their loans off, and they make it more difficult, and they increase it without any reason, and I just can't imagine why you would want to make it more difficult or want to work to make it better as well. And now I think my colleague from Georgia made a point that, is it safe to say that every time the president now tries to cancel some debt, and there's an AG from random states to challenge, right? Is that a fact, Reyes?
That's correct. Being from that same state, none of us have asked the attorneys general to intervene. And I believe, as we've heard today,
Yeah, I've never met anyone saying, no, please don't cancel my,
right. Right. There's nobody in Kansas City, nobody in St. Louis or anywhere in the state who's been asking. And I think what we are seeing and what we've seen today is how many people nationally are impacted, but they are looking to get standing to continue to bring these challenges based on the relationship between Mohila and the state of Missouri, but really the harm extends far beyond it. It is purely political, and I think it is purely anti all of the people in red shirts behind me, and the millions more who are impacted by it.
Yeah, well, and now since then I'm chairman, I'm going to give myself more time. At any rate, and it's clear that anytime the president makes a move to, give some relief to students, and then there's going to be a lawsuit, and generally some of those kinds of cases may end up being at the Supreme Court. And now it seems to me that the Supreme Court has been really overly political, and it seems to be going to making it more and more difficult to even deliver that kind of aid as well. And we moved much quicker for the Silicon Valley Bank was in collapse. It was like, how much can we do? How much can we do? And I don't think any of these borrowers could have crashed the American economy, one of their loans. But I don't know why there seems to be no outrage for that, but they seem to be that if we're going to deliver some aid for students, in this. I don't really understand that, but it's troubling, and it underscores that, in my opinion, over-politicizing the Supreme Court. But regardless, just thank all of you, and any of you that came to make a point wearing your shirts, and others that are here as well. And I guess I believe I'm the last speaker as well, too. And thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, we're going to a brief recess, and then we have a couple more until my colleague from Massachusetts returns. Okay, then. So I apologize for that comment.